Alexei would be a bad guy, awful guy, right? Because they go into the
Russian
lab,
spy scientist. Yeah.
awful human being. He's done some terrible stuff. We shouldn't like him. Not long in, it's an episode maybe. We're like, oh my gosh, we love this guy. He's carrying around stuffed animal that he won at the carnival, and he's enjoying life. You know, he's like, you're like, oh, this guy's cool. But you
know
think
what?
about
He flipped kind of fast. I know he was doing it out of survival and he needed to, and Hopper knew that. And that whole scene of like, he'll be back. He's got nowhere to go.
yeah.
But think about how fast he flipped to like, I love America. I got me some stuffed animals at the carnival. I'm good. America's awesome.
They told him the games were rigged, and he comes back with the biggest damn thing that you could have. I thought that was
love it. You gotta love him a little bit. He's kind of likable.
Big time.
Yeah. So we got new characters. We got Robin.
Oh, Maya Hawke. Man.
She has the perfect blend of awkward adorableness and beauty. And I mean, Uma Thurman's daughter, Ethan Hawke's daughter, she's amazing. It's one of those situations where you're like, all right, did she just get into Hollywood and this kind of stuff because she's of famous parents? I mean, was she handed this role? What's going on?
Yeah.
But she shows up and absolutely kills it, I think.
I love it. And that's a great point there, because she could have been handed this, and maybe she was handed this, but if she was, she paid attention to what her parents were doing. Am I right? Like she
grew
knew
up on set, right?
She did an audition for the Duffer Brothers for Stranger Things, and they loved her so much that they rewrote part of Robin's dialogue to fit her quirky humor. So a lot of what we're seeing from Maya/Robin, it's really her.
Yeah.
So that's why it comes across so well. I love her. I think she's one of the best characters.
I did too. And I think her story arc is amazing. Like, you start to get a little bit of the complexity of who she is. I mean,
yes.
And I try to imagine what it's like for this character of Robin to be like, all right, I'm just a teenager doing my job at this Scoops Ahoy. For some reason, this kid shows up and is translating Russian in the background. I don't know what's going on, but I'm in. And then to be dove into a storyline like this, if I'm just imagining what it's like to be her, and you're like, wait.
Well, she's the one that translates. She translates the Russians. She put herself into it. You know, I was like,
totally. Well, without knowing all of what was going on, until they get down into they infiltrate this Russian lab, and they see another gate is opened, and Steve is like, oh no. Steve and Dustin are like, we know what this means. And she's like, what's going on? Wait, hold up. You guys already know what this is? Like, she's really just thrown into this whole thing that is strange. Stranger Things.
Right? Stranger Things. It's weird. It's a lot going on, but I think she fit it perfectly. And she does have. Yeah, I thought she was a great addition. And once again, it's another one of those characters that comes in, just like we saw in season 2, they just fit. You don't feel like, I got to get used to this person. No. You feel like they've already been there. Like, it was natural.
Yeah.
It would have been. If you think about it in real life, when you start a new job at a mall, you're with new people.
Yep. Making new friends, maybe even friends you wouldn't have made normally at school, which is kind of where you get that whole dynamic between Steve and Robin. And they're like, you know, Robin might have been a little bit of an outcast in school, maybe not popular. Steve is for sure.
Yeah.
But then they get this dynamic that becomes a friendship that I am so envious of. I'm like, I would love a Robin in my life. I would love a Steve in my life. I want this.
Let's find you one. Let's find you a Robin or a Steve in your life, because Robin's character is confused already. She's a teenage girl and all these things going on. And at home as a viewer, we are confused because we see this weird chemistry between her and Steve. And we're like, oh, are they like a thing, or what is this?
Yeah.
But then we find out.
Love interest.
Then we find out later. They have that bathroom scene, and they talk about Tammy Thompson. Mm-hmm. Tammy Thompson was the one, and she says a line. She says, "Why was it you that she was in love with?" Basically, and you're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. What did you have that I didn't have?
and
Yeah.
it
Oh,
it starts clicking. You're like, "Oh, wait a minute." And even with Steve, you had the same reaction Steve had. You're like, "Oh, she likes girls."
mm-hmm.
And it's this huge moment. And guess what? There were gay people and lesbians in the 80s. What? Oh my gosh, there were.
Yeah.
So
You
this
know
is
what?
not
There were in the 1800s too, and before that, and and since the beginning of time.
this is not a far-fetched storyline, is what I'm getting at. Like, this is a normal thing back then, but here's what the difference was. I get the time difference in how much of a bigger deal maybe that it was in society back then
Yeah.
to do that.
You got to think how vulnerable she was revealing that to
Yeah.
Steve. Maybe it was the first time she's really ever revealed it to anyone or said anything out loud. And that would have been probably about right for that time period and that age that she was in, right?
I
So,
I
yeah.
think everybody was probably holding their breath to see Steve's reaction in that scene. Like, I think because that could have went one of two ways, and I love the way it went. He had no problem with it. It's like, okay.
Oh,
If
okay.
anything,
Yeah.
if anything, he was maybe disappointed because she's a hottie, and now she's
Yeah.
off limits.
Like,
But they did,
oh, okay.
but that did make their relationship stronger. And
Mm-hmm.
we see that as it goes, and we won't get too far into season 4 because we're going to do that one. But I think that was a huge moment, a beautiful moment, beautifully written, beautifully acted, all of those things. And like I said, it would have been. I'm not taking away from how big of a deal it is now to come out to somebody, but back then, 40 years ago, harder.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, you didn't know what the reaction was going to be. And that
especially to
I'm
someone
so
who
glad
was
you
an,
good
an
example.
yeah, especially to somebody who was an alpha male at like Steve at one point, like that's how he was built as a character. You really
Mm-hmm.
didn't know how he was going to react. So yeah, I do think that was a beautiful scene,
Scene
and
quality.
beautiful character development. Um, I don't know what Maya. I don't know how Maya is. I don't know what her. Not
Oh,
to really get
I've
into it.
seen some interviews where she has some talks about book crushes that she has when she was on other podcasts and interviews that I've seen of her. And so I'm like, I'm pretty sure she likes the fellas, but it's fluid. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
But I love
yeah,
that Stranger Things has a really great way of integrating, this mysterious, paranormal, horror, sci-fi aspect to it, and these developments of relationships and real
yeah,
things. You see these kids growing up throughout the series. So you've got the young boys, that were, the D&D crew, I like to call them,
yeah,
OGs, the OGs of season 1,
yeah,
and you're seeing them grow up and have like now they're kind of pairing off. Now that Max is in the picture, Lucas has a little girlfriend there, and Mike is still kind of obsessed with 11, and they've got their obsession going. In fact, like full out makeout sessions, let's be honest.
yeah,
That's a whole other story going on. And then you have Will. So Robin's coming out is sort of setting up what Will's going through. He's like in this phase of like, no girls allowed. Let's stay kids. I'm still kind of holding on to my childhood. I missed some childhood while I was going through stuff. So you've got, Mike has 11, Lucas has Max, Steve has Robin, maybe right now. Jonathan has Nancy. And then you've got Will with his trauma. That's his like side business going on.
yeah. And you got this monster or whatever wreaking havoc all at the same time when these kids are going through life. Really, it's like
Yeah.
that's terrifying. You know what the most terrifying thing in the whole Stranger Things overall all seasons has been? It's in season 3. It's on the marquee in the background of the movie theater. They're actually showing Return to Oz in that theater. If you look close, that's got to be the most terrifying thing.
Throwback.
That's the most terrifying thing in the whole thing of Stranger Things is the fact that that theater is showing Return to Oz. If you hadn't seen that movie, don't. It'll give you nightmares.
Or do watch it and then watch our rewatch of it, which we did last year at the Witch Movie Project. So throw back to our whole deep dive into Return to Oz, which was that was a trip, man.
We did a live screening of that. Let's just tell the truth. We did a live screening of that and people walked out. I don't blame them.
Like
I
this
don't
is
blame them.
creepy and a little awful.